Hi, everybody. Welcome to It's Bizzy. Here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to It's Bizzy. Bizzy Chance here with episode 575. And today's topic and title is Courage for Forgiveness, Erica Kirk's Warrior Heart. So I'm so glad you guys are here. Thanks for showing up, my family, Bizzy family. And it's all about forgiveness. Watching Erica Kirk yesterday, I actually spent 5 hours watching the, I don't want to call it a funeral because it was more of a celebration of life. I was so inspired, tears the entire time. So many wonderful things were said. Well, we're going to dive in here. Erica's words. Charlie's death broke me. He's been rebuilding me. We're in a spiritual war and it's time to choose Christ. And you might be thinking, oh my gosh, what is this girl talking about? Oh my gosh, I talk about God all the time. And I talk about how important it was for me to go on my journey of seeking and seeking and seeking. And I don't think that journey's over by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, I feel like I don't want to say I'm confused, but hearing from so many friends about what happened since Charlie's death, especially in the Catholic churches, the church I go to, the only time they mentioned Charlie Kirk, they got people coming into the office saying, why did you mention him? They were very upset by the fact that Charlie Kirk was mentioned in church because they're supposed to be nonpartisan in church. Because it's politics now in church too. Okay. So that happened. And then I have so many other friends that I talked to and I was like, what was church like? Because I did not go to church this week. And I said, what was it like? Did they mention Charlie Kirk? And everybody said no. No one heard any words from Catholic priests about Charlie Kirk, a God-fearing man that was killed in front of all of us. And in the Catholic Church, because it's not partisan. So they're Switzerland. And it's just not sitting right with me. But before I get into that, I'll talk about that more at the end of the podcast. But I just had to throw that out there because I'm feeling a little about everything that happened. And to be the land of the free, you have to be the home of the brave. Ben Carson said that. And Erica said, I forgive him. Let's be brave together. And it's so crazy because I put up a reel right after I heard Erica say, I forgive the man that killed my husband. And I thought, wow, that hit me in the heart. And I was so taken aback and I was so moved that I did this reel. And I posted it on Instagram and I posted it on TikTok. The TikTok reel has had over 5,000 views at this point. And so much hate has been thrown at me. It's just like hate, 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 hate. So many people going, oh, are you crazy? Ew, your video's terrible. You guys are losers. Who follows God? You guys are just, people who follow Donald Trump are stupid. So I was called stupid. I was called ew. I was called, oh, I thought this was theatrical. I thought this was supposed to be a funny spoof. And then if you had fallen out your glass door, it would have been even better. And all this, like, it hit me this morning when I opened it. And I'm obviously recording this on Monday. And at first I wanted to go in and delete every one of the comments and respond to every one of the comments. And some of them I did. And I said, God is praying for you. I wish you the best. My biggest question was like, why are you following me if you don't like what I have to say? Because you just want to go and spew hate to me? You're just going to do that? You wouldn't do that to me in real life, walking around in public or walking down the street as a neighbor or somebody. You wouldn't just walk up to somebody and just spew hatred towards them, unless maybe you're psychotic. But you don't normally do that in real life. But the computer and social media has given us this opportunity to be able to say whatever we want to say. And the crazy thing is that I don't go and watch people that I don't like and spew my stuff onto them. I just keep moving. And I don't really go on social media that much. I just go, drop, and fly. And then I have to go read my comments to respond to the people that have written to me. And I'm not going to respond anymore. I did a video this morning that just said, does anybody have manners anymore? Which I don't think they do. And I think there's so many people that are sad. And as a conservative person, we don't go and get into violence. We don't hit people. We don't catch people's businesses on fire. We don't do those sort of things. And so we have to be brave, right? So if they want to say mean things to me, I can't take it personally. If I'm going to go and post things on social media and expect everybody to like them and give me hearts, I'm delusional, for one. And for two, it doesn't matter. Let's be honest. I'm doing what is in my heart. And some people said, oh my gosh, keep going. You're so brave. I don't know how brave I am. I'm not like Charlie Kirk. I'm not as bright as Charlie Kirk. I'm not as bright as Erica Kirk, who are so well read and they have so much knowledge and they can go and be on these college campuses and talking to other intelligent young people and responding to their questions and the places where they are, where they feel like unjustified. And they're like, why do you believe this? And why do you believe that? So I don't feel like I'm at that level, but I do feel like I'm at a level that I can speak to other women that are out there and men that are feeling like, you know what? What's going on? We need to come together. We need to come together. And it's so crazy because the division in America is so, I mean, there's like literally a wall. I mean, it's an imaginary wall that goes down our country. It feels like it's like a steel wall, and the left are over here and the right are over here, and nobody wants to come together. It's like nobody wants to like make this work and be like, okay, we love America. That's at least one thing that we have in common. We haven't gotten there yet. I pray we do. That is why I'm going to continue doing this. Because my prayers are that we come together united and we all love God at somewhere in your life. Or as you know, the 12 steps and the book Alcoholics Anonymous was all about finding a higher power. And they didn't call it God. I mean, they do obviously in certain parts of the book, but it's about finding who you believe is your higher power. And some people don't want to go there. And I totally get it. And I can respect it. But I hope, and I might be delusional in this hope, but I hope that everybody gets to this place, and not until I hope it's before they get to their deathbed and go, oh my gosh, what was this for? I hope there's a God. Where am I going now? Because I think that happens to a lot of people at the very end. They go, oh my gosh, now what? And I pray for them that they do find God and they do find Christ. So Erica's message of the warrior of being forgiving had such an impact on me. Erica's Sunday words moved me to tears. I forgive him, that man. I forgive him because it's what God wanted. In a world of hate, that's pure courage. So Erica got up there and said, I forgive him. When she did that, again, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's forgiving him. And one of her quotes that I found so incredibly moving that we could all live by is choose prayer, choose courage, choose beauty, choose adventure, choose family, choose a life of faith, and most importantly, choose Christ. So again, if you're out there and you don't believe, but you want to, try it. Believe, even though it doesn't feel comfortable and you feel like, I don't understand and I can't touch it and I can't feel God and I can't do. If you keep doing this, you will feel God. You will see miracles happen in your life and you will go, oh my gosh, why did that happen? And instead of thinking about coincidences, think of God winks. I challenge you to that. You know, Charlie was a warrior who fought for truth. And now Erica is carrying that torch. And I think it's so interesting because I was watching this morning, I was watching a little bit of Patrick Bet-David. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched some of it. And on their podcast, they featured some clips from Representative Omar. And she's just spews this hate, hate, hate. And I'm sitting here watching this woman, and she is not American, obviously. She has an accent. And she doesn't like America. She doesn't like God. She doesn't like people that love God. She doesn't like people being educated. She doesn't like people being challenged. We're supposed to listen to what she says because she's the God Almighty, whoever she is. And the whole time I'm watching her, I'm thinking to myself, okay, you came to this country. You were elected to office, which is what you find in America. right? Wherever she's from. I'm not even going to give her the time of day to even look her up because I don't care that much. What I do care about is like, if you don't like it here and all you want to do is spew hate and you think it's terrible, her lines that she says that are so just not anything that I believe. Why doesn't she go back to where she came from? Hmm? Why? Because she wants to sit here and just spew hate? Why is she doing that? If she's so miserable, like if I were that miserable about where I live, I would be like, I would pack up my stuff and I'd go somewhere else. But for me, I've always loved America. I grew up in the Midwest. I love apple pie. I love baseball. I love all those things. I love singing the national anthem. I loved saying the Pledge of Allegiance when I was growing up. I loved that I went to school all my entire life with people that had all different beliefs and we all were able to learn together and we were all able to have these different ideas and we all came together and we all loved being Americans. That's just where I grew up. Okay. And I think that like trying to divide us, if anybody wants to divide us, that's not a good thing. I think Charlie was trying to bring us together and go, look, there's this thing called the Bible, which if you're not watching this on YouTube, I'm holding up a Bible right now. Shapiro said many times it's the best self-help book out there. And if we're going to have people that want to divide us, why are we listening? Why are we electing them if they want to divide us? And then I heard about Representative Crockett. And she was like, Charlie Kirk was a racist because of this and that. I'm like, you're a racist. What? We're not listening to this anymore. This rhetoric of like wanting again to divide us, divide us, divide us. We want to come together. Charlie tried to be like, hey, what is your ideas? I want to talk to you about your ideas. Let's go back to the Bible. That's what he always wanted to do. Go back to the Bible. Let's talk about why you feel the way you do, and let me give you some ideas why you might think differently. That's what Charlie challenged people to do, was to think differently. The last I checked, we're not sheep. I mean, if you want to follow in line with somebody, if that's the way it's like, that's the way you like to live, is somebody telling you what to do. We don't want you to use your own brain that God gave you. Spend your entire life living in alternative universes, go and play video games all the time. I understand that. If that's where you want to be, but you can say that, like, I just don't want to have a thought. I just want to numb out. I get it. As being an alcoholic, I understand that numbing out. Feelings stink. But to sit there and not take the time to actually read and investigate what you're feeling and listening to these representatives that obviously hate where you were born or maybe even where you weren't born and you're here as an immigrant, but to sit here and not be like, I've got to love where I live. I have to at least have respect of where I live. I have to at least rejoice and be happy for the fact that I have freedoms here. I mean, all these people that are liberal and going free Palestine, they wouldn't even be allowed to speak. They'd be hung in the streets there. But here in America, you can say that you don't like America, but at the end of the day, be at least happy that you're free enough to go walk outside and say what you believe and you're not going to be hung in the town square. That's what's important. Your ability to walk out of your house, your ability to go on a podcast, your ability to do these things and say what you believe is the First Amendment. And that's what Charlie fought for. We should all be able to be strong enough to say, this is what I believe. If you don't believe it, I understand that. But why don't you believe this? And let's get into a conversation about that. Let's debate that. But to go and just hit somebody because you don't like it. I was raised in a home that was kind of like that. Like, you don't believe what we believe? I'm going to shut you up. I'm going to hit you. And that's not the way we do life here, do we? And Charlie's legacy is for us to think for ourselves. Courage is a choice. The ability to have a choice. That's what we have in America, the ability to have a choice. You get to believe what you want to believe, but at least be happy that you live in a place that you're allowed to do that. You might not like, the right. You might not like God, but maybe at some point, I know you will, because I've watched it so many times in my life in 12-step meetings where people are like, I'm an atheist, and now they're no longer an atheist. and they believe in God. And so many people on their deathbed go, oh my gosh, now what? Where's God? Don't wait until that last breath to find God. In my 19 years sober, I've learned what courage means, speaking my truth, even when I'm talking about the darkness in the world. And I lived in a very dark world prior to getting sober. It was like a stained glass window that was filled with soot. I was so dark. I was so sad. And what sobriety has given me is an ability to like me and an ability to sit here and speak my truths. Are they your truths? I'm not sure, but it doesn't even matter. But the fact that I'm able to do this and I cherish this, it's not about the money. It's about the ability to get out there and share with you guys. And faith without works is dead. I never remember reading that in the Bible when I was a kid. I just don't. I was raised Catholic where you hear the gospel, but when I was in reading the book Alcoholics Anonymous, that line, faith without works is dead. And Erica said, what is God's will for you? And Charlie had said, here I am, Lord, send me. Here I am, use me. And God says, don't be afraid. I have you. We choose faith over fear. When you're in active alcoholism, at least for me, this is again, all my opinions. When you are in active alcoholism, you have so much, at least I had so much fear. I didn't recognize that until I did a bunch of work. I could work with another woman and she pointed out, do you see this is fear? Do you see this is fear? Do you see this is fear? And I was like, oh my gosh, you're so right. It is fear. All of it's fear. And if I don't trust something bigger than me, and I don't trust like everything's going to work out exactly the way God wants it to work out, that's why Erica was able to forgive the man that shot her husband, because she realizes it was God's will. We are all living in God's will. God has a plan. I believe that from the bottom of my soul. God has a plan. And we might not like that plan. And some days we might not know what to do with that plan. It feels so uncomfortable. We don't like it. We are screaming and we're yelling and we're just in this place of just such sadness. And knowing and trusting that God's will be done. And some days that means doing nothing. Float, just sit there and just relax. And doing nothing is doing something. Don't ever forget that. Doing nothing is doing something. One of the biggest things that I took away from Erica saying that she forgave this man was that, kids in America today, we're living in such a world of estrangement in our families, in our nuclear families. And kids don't talk to parents. And I know this firsthand. And they punish us. They say, we're not talking to you. They ghost us or they totally eliminate us from their lives. And I'm not talking to you. I don't like you. I don't like what you stand for. There's no respect in the family anymore. And a lot of these kids are now finding God and they believe in God, but then they don't believe in forgiveness to their own families, their own parents. They sit here, they go to church. These kids go to church. They're building a community in their churches, but their family of origin or the family they married into, they don't like. And so they separate themselves from us. And they don't have forgiveness. And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to the core. I think that, you know, these walls that young people put up to their parents, it's not what God wants. I can just tell you that. It's not what God wants. And in recovery, we learn forgiveness starts with self. We have to forgive ourselves. We can't carry around our burdens of yesterday. And seeing the forgiveness of someone else, like if that's the best example we have of Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica, so far, is that she forgave. Now that doesn't mean she's going to forget. None of us will forget because we all want to carry around why we resent people, why we're hateful, all those things. We want to carry them around in our backpack. Even these young people that are mad at their parents or mad at their in-laws, and they carry this around like a badge of honor. And it does what for anybody? Nothing. So instead, maybe if you're a young person listening to this and you have friends that aren't talking to their parents, or if you're a young person who knows somebody that isn't talking to their parents or their in-laws, you could say to them maybe, "Did you see Erica is forgiving the man that shot her husband, left her a widow, left her 2 children fatherless, and your mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister-in-law, brother-in-law is mad, you're mad at them for saying something and you have no forgiveness and you're going to shut them out? Maybe it's time for you to forgive." And I think that's like a great idea for people that are out there. So, you know, forgiveness is our blueprint. It just is. It starts at forgiveness. And we're in a spiritual war right now. So we've got to keep going out there. We got to keep speaking. We got to keep talking. We got to keep being brave. We've got to keep saying what we believe and not worry about what anybody else thinks about what we're saying. We have to say what we believe in our core. Like our voices are what we have. It's like the biggest thing we have as human beings. That might live loud, love big, use your voice, and reach out to me. I want to hear about a story that you have of forgiveness. If you're listening to this, I want to hear your stories. Please write to me. Tell me one of your stories. It can be short, it can be a couple sentences, it could be a book. I don't care. Send it to me. Send me your story of forgiveness and what it feels like today and what it was like going through it. I would love to hear it and share it with my listeners. If you're out there, you have a forgiveness story, please write to me at elizabeth@elizabethchance.com. You can also get my newsletter by going to elizabethchance.com, which comes out every Friday. And I'm going to end today with something I'm going to start doing now, which is reading a Bible verse. As I mentioned, I grew up, Catholic, and we didn't do the Bible. And I want to do the Bible now. So if you can think of a church that does the Bible, I'm actually even thinking of joining Erica Kirk's Bible study. What do you think? Have you guys thought about that? Let me know your thoughts on that as well. And I'm going to end today with the Beatitudes from Matthew. Seeing the crowds, he went up on the mountain. And when he sat down, his disciples came to him, and he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when men revel you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For so men are persecuted the prophets who were before you." Keep being loud, you guys. Keep being proud. Know that God is the one and only person, and Mary. And I'm going to bring her up for just a couple seconds because I noticed they didn't mention Mary, the Blessed Mother, at all in Sunday's memorial service. And I mentioned this last week on my podcast, but I could feel Mary like actually taking Charlie's hand. I could see it, like it came into a vision for me with her walking Charlie to heaven. Mary is all of our mothers. And if you feel alone, pray to Mary, say a rosary. If you're out there and you don't have a rosary, Here's one that I have. It's a big one. I love it. It's all wooden. It's just beautiful. It's a huge cross. If you're out there and you don't have a rosary and you want one, email me at elizabeth@elizabethchance.com and I will send you a rosary. I promise. And thanks for listening, you guys. And if you're out there and you're feeling alone, you're not alone. That's a lie. You are never alone. Reach out to me. I'll respond to you right away. If you want to reach out to me, I'm on all social medias. It's Bizzy Podcast. You can also email me at elizabeth@elizabethchance.com. Just know this, you are not alone. And I'm sending you guys big hugs, lots of love, and God bless you all. Thanks for listening. And please subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast. Or if you're watching me on YouTube, press subscribe. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.